Hi, I'm Amanda Carringer with Lumber Evolution, and today I'm going to show you how we created these cute monogrammed bunny door hangers. Alright, so here are the materials that you're going to need. We get Home Depot's birch plywood, and you'll need 2 sheets of it. We cut ours down to 12 by 18 inches. You can use whatever material you would like though. For sanding, you can either mask your plywood or you can use like an orbital sander or a hand sander, whichever you prefer, whatever method. You'll need spray paint, whatever brand you prefer. For the white spray paint, and you can do any colors, but if you're gonna use white, I try to look for a white with a primer. That way it coats better and more evenly. You'll need some just smaller clamps. We use wood glue, and then we use super glue for a little bit more of the detail area. And then I use this burlap with a wire. So it's in the floral section at Hobby Lobby. And this is 2.5 by 30 feet. So you're not gonna use all 30 feet, but that's just the kind that I get. You could get whatever kind of ribbon though that you want. And now we're gonna go over to the computer and set the file up.
All right, so here's where I got my bunny files from. So I found these on Etsy at DIY SVG shop, and I'm using these bunnies. I do want to note that I did not create these at all. I purchased these, and if you're going to purchase these, that's totally fine. If you read the disclaimer, you can make products, physical products and stuff with this. You may not resell or reuse any of the digital file aspects of it. So I would not try to use this to create the files and then sell the completed digital files and stuff, because that's stealing from this person. So, and you can't just modify it a little bit and then sell it. I wouldn't try to do any of that because I don't want anyone to get in trouble or anything, but making the actual physical products is okay. So these are the bunnies that I purchased from this shop. And then here's the monogram bundle I got from KYO Digital Studio on Etsy. There was a lot of different fonts, 8 of them in here, and I liked the different combos that they had and thought those will be great because I want to make wreaths, door hanger wreaths like this year round, so I could use these for all different kinds and just different styles, because some people like all the swirls and other people want a more boxy, bold look. So those are what I purchased. If you purchased on Etsy, you know, you go into your account, into your purchases that you have, then you can download the files. I already have them downloaded, so we're gonna pull those up. So I downloaded these the other day. So we're gonna first pull up the bunny silhouettes, and I'm just gonna pull up the SVG into whatever software that you're using. I'm using Illustrator. And how I did this, so I'm just gonna copy, you can use any of these bunnies. I liked the ears that were kind of down. So I'm gonna copy that, Control or Command C. And then I'm gonna open a new file. So what I usually do is, where is it? Here. I have an 18 by 12 because that's the size boards I cut down for the Glowforge. So we're just gonna pull this in. Doesn't really matter what size you want right now to work with. We'll resize it in a little bit, but I'm just gonna use Shift to keep everything proportionate and make it bigger so it's a little bit easier to work with. So the first thing that I do is I want the bunny to have the layered look. So I'm gonna need to get 2 bunnies in here. So I'm gonna copy this new size, paste it in, and layer it on top so that it's good. I'm going to delete, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna color this differently so that there's two different color bunnies. So if you go into the layers, you can see that there's two different color bunnies. I'm gonna delete this out of there. So the circle's done. And then I'm going to make sure the purple one is in front. So you have this red circle going through, you see that. And I'm gonna wanna make sure that I select the red bunny. So I'm making sure that it is the red bunny that's selected. I'm gonna go into stroke and I'm gonna start making this red bunny larger. So whatever size thickness, if you want it to be really bold, you can make it thicker. If you want it lighter, you can do that. So like here's like a 20 stroke. I like to have it a little thicker, so I would go into probably about a 35 is what I like. So then at this point, you go into object, expand, fill and stroke are checked, and hit OK. So right in here, you have this bunny, and then you have this bunny. We're gonna separate them for a minute, so just so you can see this. So you have all the different lines going in. Then you're gonna go right into here to Pathfinder, which I have pulled out. If it's not there, go into Window, pull up Pathfinder, and then you're gonna merge these together. So then this made the bunny bigger, and then you have this purple bunny, which you can layer on top. So you have those. Then what I do is I go into the shape and I go to the Eclipse tool, hit Shift when drawing it to keep it proportionate, and I want it to be at 0.75. So, and then I'm just gonna make these a different color just for now. So you want it at the 0.75 is what I like. For the method that I use for hanging it, you could do whatever size you would like, what's gonna work best for you. So then copy, actually, let's make this bunny the right size first, because I was like, those holes look really big. So let me go, see, yeah, this is smaller. So the height that I do is 16.5. Now, if we look, when you make it, it's locked. So if it's proportionate, it's at a 13, which is too wide for the basic Glowforge. You could use this and do the same thing if you have a Pro with the pass-through slot. I have that, but I just want to make it easier and not have to deal with lining them up. So I'm gonna unlock this, and I make this at 10.8. It brings it in slightly, but you're not gonna be able to tell the difference a whole lot. So there. Now that we have the 0.75 circle, we're just gonna drag it over wherever you would like. Copy that and paste it again. And then make sure they're intersecting. Boom. There you go. Then the next thing I do is I want the holes to be the same on the back. So I go in here and select them both, shift that, and then you're going to, make sure both of them are selected, drag into this and copy the layer. That way they're going right on top of each other. You're not having to make sure they're center or anything, they're good. Then do shift and select two of them in the top. So you can see over here that two of the circles are selected in this top bunny. I'm just gonna move them to the side as I make the paths here in a little bit. So I do Command that, and I'm gonna go over here and exclude to create the compound path shape. So So then, boom, you can see it's cut those out. So everything's selected. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the larger bunny. Exclude. Now you can make these different colors too so that they're separated. So there we go. We have the bunnies layered so that they're ready to upload into the Glowforge. I'm gonna show really quick on how I add the monogram to this. You can use those Etsy files if you would like. You don't have to. You can use any other font that you would like or anything. Let me go into here and pull up my font. So I'm using the interlocking font, and I go to the middle, and I need an E for one of my orders. So I'm gonna copy that and drag it into here. Now the next thing that I actually do is if you're doing, say you open a round of these locally and you're wanting to sell them, and you want to do a lot of the different letters or even just different wording. Like I have one of them that says welcome. I'm doing a few that have last names on them for people. To make things easier, copy this bunny. So I have 2 of them in here. So I always have a blank one that I can go back to. That way I'm not having to try to recreate this every time. It's there. I have the extra one ready to go. And so then if anything happens to this one, I can redo it. So then I go into here and I'm gonna drag it and make it smaller. So, and you can, if you wanna try to get these like closer to the edge, that's fine. I like them being more overlapping the bunny. I feel like they're gonna be stronger. It's gonna have more of a stronger bond, and I don't want them to break as easily. So then you're gonna select the E and the red bunny, and you're going to unite. And there we go. Oops, sorry. So now we have this E that is on this bunny center, and then we have this blank one. So I'm gonna save this one. Oops, let's go into where my other ones are. I'm sorry, I should have had that pulled up. So Easter 2020. So here's all of them that I've done so far. And then this one is just the letter E. So there we go, they're saved. So now it's ready to upload into the Glowforge. So if you were gonna make another one, what I would do is go save as, and then whatever letter you're wanting to do next. So that way it's easier and you can quickly do a bulk order of them. So let's go, and I'm gonna upload this into the Glowforge and we'll start cutting it. Oops. There we go. All right, so let's go to Easter 2020, and I'm going to open this file that we just did. So here's the bunnies. So what I do is I don't need this one at all. So I just delete that one right off the bat. I drag these down. And now I'm gonna start with the larger bunny. And if I put this on its side, it will fit. All right. And then my settings that I use for my birch is 130 over full power. It depends on the thickness. I buy most of my birch from Home Depot, and if it's thicker or more dense, sometimes I do 130. Sometimes I've done 140 or 145. So usually it's ranging between 130 and 145. So I'm gonna go and put some wood into the Glowforge, and we'll come back here in just a moment and I will show you what else we do. it on the Glowforge. I'm just gonna make sure it's center, it's on my piece of wood, and hit ready. All right, so this is gonna take 4 minutes and 35 seconds. We're gonna hit go and let that go. Now I actually have to change the letter. I had a customer give me the wrong initial that she wanted, so I actually didn't need an E, so I changed it to the B file. So we're just going to continue it with the B. So here's this, and I'm going to upload this one onto the Glowforge. This one's going to be 9 minutes and 33 seconds. So this is right at a total about 15 minutes of cut time total between the background bunny and then the front bunny. And that does vary slightly depending on the letter itself. I've seen these range from about 8 minutes to about 9.5 to 10 minutes at the longest. So all right, and now I'm gonna let this cut and then show you what we do next. We took them off the Glowforge. Here are the two pieces that we have, and we have to sand them. So we're going to use an orbital sander to sand these to take off some of the charring. If you masked your wood, you don't have to do that. And I'm going to do the front and the back. And then on this one, I'm just going to do the edging around the outline of the bunny. I'm not going to worry about the center spot because of all the detail. I don't want any of it to break with the orbital sander. So we're going to go do that and then come back. All right, now that these are sanded, I'm gonna take these outside to spray paint. Here's the colors that I'm using right now. So for the white, I got the Rust-Oleum Universe Satin Paint Plus Primer. That's an indoor and outdoor fast drying paint. So this is gonna go on this one. This paint I found covers really well, especially the little bit of charring that I'm gonna have on there. And then on this, I'm just using this Krylon Gloss Hot Pink. You can use any color that you want, but I'm gonna use that for the background of this. So let's go paint these outside. So we let the bunnies dry overnight. So then this is what you'll have. And now we're going to glue them together. So what I like to do is use the wood glue and a super glue. So I just start with the wood glue and I put that basically in all the bigger areas where the bunny is. And then I go in with the super glue. I could add a little more right in here. And then I'm gonna go in with the super glue for all the detail areas. And then I also go kind of at the top, just because I don't want the wood glue to seep out.
Then you just have to make sure it's centered when placing it down. And then we're going to clamp all around. You're just gonna wanna make sure that the bunny is nice and dry before you clamp. Otherwise, you're gonna get some of the lines and stuff from where the clamps were on the bunny, and you don't want that, because then you're gonna have to try to touch up, and that's gonna be difficult with the spray paint. So I'm gonna make sure that there's a good amount of clamps all over. And then we're gonna let this dry for about 30 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and finish it. All right, now we're gonna remove all of the clamps. And we're gonna take our burlap, which is about 2 feet. You can cut it shorter or longer. I just like it to have fairly long amount, and you're just gonna put it through the top part. And I just do a knot. Just do a knot, and with our holes that we've created, it's not gonna go through. And that way you don't have to worry about staples or anything in the back. Other side, and try to make them even looking. They don't have to be perfect. All right, and then there is your Monogram bunny door hanger.